Robert, I believe you broke the story about Camilla and Charles when they were to marry. But how do you think Camilla taking on an official role has impacted Charles?
Yeah, in the midst of time, I wrote that about 2005, that story. I think that it's made Charles a far more relaxed person in public. I think it was awful. I remember when he was really that period where she couldn't really be acknowledged, and he was travelling the world. He was always a workaholic. I think he needs her. He's someone they can, at the end of the day, they can have a laugh about a subject, and they can chat about things. He's far more relaxed in the way he does things. I remember we were on the Voyager plane not that long ago, and I'd never really seen him without a shirt and tie on before, and he came back and was chatting to the press, something that she would have instigated.
Shirtless.
Shirt and tie. He didn't have a shirt. He did a jacket and tie, sorry. He didn't come back shirtless. He had a shirt on, but no jacket and tie.
That was like quite an extraordinary image going on in my head.
Don't take away that image. Although we did see that image of them walking on the beach. But he was very relaxed, and she would come back and chat to all the media, and you know, there's certain things she'll do to liven up a situation. For example, I remember being in Christchurch and looking where they'd had that the terrible earthquake and the whole
yes.
was there. And there was a dance company dancing. These kids were jiving and trying to liven things up. So she immediately joined in, which meant that he had to join in, we had pages 1, 2 and 3 of them dancing, which was, you know, quite unusual for people in their 70s, you know, but she was managed to she saw that as a situation. Another time we were on a job in Australia, I think it was, and this guy, we were just sharpening, he was showing how to sharpen the knives. So she picked up one and started going like that to him. And so it was a great snap. And so she's very, very aware that the media are there for a reason. She's picked subjects that aren't going to make her the queen of people's hearts or the queen of hearts. They are very, very tough issues, domestic violence and rape, and all of these, going into prisons to try and promote people to read, to, you know, education there, reading. All of these things aren't necessarily, you know, very going to win over people necessarily, but she takes them very seriously and does a very good job from what I've seen. She's, you know, I think she's done a terrific job. Yeah.
Do you think, Richard, that the public gets to see the real Camilla now? Do you think that there is widespread acceptance when previously there wasn't?
I think probably acceptance is the right word. That I think we journalists have sort of come to really like her, and she's for many people sort of favourite member of the royal family. But I don't think that's shared by the public at all. So I think before they might have been actively hostile, and maybe they're less hostile now. But I think the problem for the royal family is they're just not very interested. So the public are just not very interested in Charles and Camilla, and that is a problem. You know, that they might
old for the younger generation.
Yeah, they might tolerate her, but they don't sort of love her or really care one way or another. And so for an institution that relies on the public support, I think that's a genuine problem, and that's why we will see almost a sort of joint reign with William and Catherine.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because she will be, for all intents and purposes, a queen. What kind of queen do you think she will be, Angela?
Well, she said just the other day what she was going to be when she was celebrating her birthday with the Oldie magazine, and she spoke a bit, and she said that she felt that the Duke of Edinburgh was her role model, and she would follow a motto that he'd said, which was look up, look out, say little and do more. And she said that's what she's going to do.
What a job to be stepping into, though, at potentially
her,
around 80 years old.
Oh, it's a difficult job, without doubt. I mean, but I think that she's very good at supporting the Prince. The Prince will take the lead, and she's very well informed, as Angela was saying, on all of the subjects, and she's very careful not to stray beyond them.
Yes.
I think that's what she's good at. She's focused. She's not going to. I mean, I've been on engagements or tours with her, and then I remember I was tending to follow at the time. I was writing a book on Prince Charles, so follow him. But then I got one afternoon with her, which was wine tasting in Crete, and we went off to this vineyard, and she said, "What? Sit down and basically join in with." And so there was no. All I could say is we were drinking the wine. We weren't tasting the wine. And after about 4 glasses of this Cretan well, it was quite fun. It was, you know, she had made a fun afternoon, which wasn't the same as...
You got hammered with Camilla.
well, yeah, the cheese was nice.
What is very important is that what she will really bring to Prince Charles is her own experience of an ordinary life. Although she came
how
from
ordinary
quite
was
a
it really?
no, although she came from quite a rich family, she was at that very difficult time a single parent. You know, she did her own shopping and she understands all the problems about congestion charge and taxes, which Prince Charles never has to do anything about because he's got his staff. So I think she's got a realistic side which can really help him and say things about maybe what he should and shouldn't do in a small way.
Thanks for watching. On Thursdays, don't forget to tune into Palace Confidential, your weekly look at all things royal.